Hello, this is John, and that was a Bengali folk song, part of the beautiful music from India that I've been able to learn and study. And I'm like many people, I started out on the Western flute, I was learning jazz, I was in band, I took classical lessons, learned the Bach flute sonatas, I was doing jazz of Miles Davis. But at the same time, I started to hear music that was from India that really fascinated me. Maybe you're like me and you heard Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band from the Beatles. There's that piece, Within You, Without You, by George Harrison. We were talking about the space. So that song was very much influenced from India. You had a tabla drum, you had a sarangi, George was playing the sitar. There's no Ringo, John, or Paul on that piece. It's just Indian musicians and George Martin. I also noticed that some of my favorite musicians were also very influenced and interested in Indian music. John Coltrane, for one. John McLaughlin, with his Shakti group, was playing with some very great Indian musicians. In the group Oregon, there was Colin Walcott, who had studied sitar with Ravi Shankar and tabla with Alaraka. So this led me to start listening to a lot of Indian music. One of the first records I listened to was Ravi Shankar live at the 1967 Monterey Pop Festival. This was an incredible record for me. I couldn't believe they could improvise on and on and on, an endless flow of ideas. So now I was really hooked on Indian music. So it got to a point where I just took off and went to India. And there, through a wonderful set of circumstances, I met the great Hari Prasad Chaurasia, a great master of the bansuri, bamboo flute from India. This flute is very different. It's an open hole flute. It's really very simple construction. It's just holes and bamboo. But to play it is very tricky because you have to partially cover the holes to get some of the intonation of the different notes. It also allows you to do a lot of bending of the notes, more than you can do on a normal Western flute. So now I was really hooked. And so I spent 2 years with Hari Prasad in India, 92 to 94, and then he invited me to the Rotterdam Conservatorium, where I spent 12 more years studying with him. And this is a wonderful experience. And so then when I came back to the US, I was doing a lot of teaching, and I found that a lot of people were learning bansuri, but there were a lot of people also who felt that they'd already spent 20, 30 years or a long amount of time learning Western flute, and really to learn the bansuri is like a whole new instrument. So they wanted to learn music concepts of India on the Western flute. And so I started on that path of teaching a lot of people. And now after many years of experience of that, I now put together a whole course. But besides the whole course, I've also put together a master class. And I basically recorded this. And this is about 90 minutes of me talking about the Western flute and how you can convey some of the music of India on the Western flute. So I just invite you to join this master class. And if you like it, you may want to consider taking the membership course, Music of India for the Western Flutist. So I hope you enjoy this masterclass, and I'd love to hear from you and your reaction about these materials.